Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first ever FB4 Daily, the 1st of July 2019. Just to let you know, that's 1 month on, one calendar month on, since Liverpool lifted their 6th European Cup, the unbearable Reds, as we like to be known. This show will be about 35 to 40 minutes long every day, and it's going to be, look, for the time of year that's in it, you're probably looking at mostly transfer stuff. You're looking at bits and pieces around Liverpool. There's a couple of things come out this morning. That Guardiola interview looks interesting, but I don't know whether that's being dubbed just to, or translated to let Liverpool fans enjoy it. But look, before we go on, I just want to say we have a lot of good sponsors lined up for this show. Different sponsors every single day. This first show is brought to you by Love Follow Conquer. Love Follow Conquer is an independent clothing label by LFC fans for LFC fans. Men's, women's, juniors. Really good quality material. Really good quality t-shirts, jackets are my favourites. If you don't believe me, go to lovefollowconquer.com, and on their homepage you will see some brilliant testimonials from different people. We're going to start today with a signing that's happened. Sepp Van Den Berg. I'll just give you a little look at this stuff here. Sepp Van Den Berg, 17 years old, Dutch under-19 international. 1.3 million, rising to 4.4 million after 350 appearances. That's being muted by certain journalists that this is the deal that's in place. Interest from Bayern and Barca was fended off by Liverpool and also Ajax. An interesting piece on him today was Jaap Stam saying that it's a really good signing for Liverpool. He's really impressed them. He has some first team games under his belt, but only 17 years old, so not so much of a risk at that money. But look, let's see how we get on with it. I just want to know people's thoughts on this guy. Where do you think he's going to be in the pecking order and different things like that? We have centre halves there, but you look at young Hoover that's playing. He got a chance against Wolves. You have he's 16, 17 years of age to getting a chance. I think the main thing with people with this one might be the cup competitions. Let's see how the cup competitions go. If we can stay in the League Cup and the FA Cup, it might be a chance for players like this. But look, he's a young player. He's a centre half. He looks like he has potential. It's not a huge outlay for him. It's a long-term deal for him. You may see him in the 23s. You may see him getting the odd in the squad the odd time. We don't know. You have Van Dijk there. You have Matip. You have Lovren. There's a bit of debate over Lovren's future, but I don't know what's going to come of that. You have Joe Gomez who's coming back. So look, let's just go and see what happens with him. I just want to see what people thought of that. Also, there's a lot being made over this transfer window, and are Liverpool going to spend big? And people have said that this transfer is one that's kind of, I suppose, it's a sign of things to come for the transfer window. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I think that it's a signing that Liverpool have made. They've looked at, and they've got in ahead of another couple of clubs. I don't think this is a sign of thing to come. I think Liverpool will sign one, possibly two big signings this summer. They're not afraid to spend money. They have got the money. The Champions League run, the television money from the Premier League last season. It's a massive thing. So look, Van den Berg, he's one for the future, but you never know with a cup competition, with a League Cup, maybe an FA Cup. You never know. We could have an injury crisis. Joe Gomez is only coming back from injury. Lovren's not known to be fit all of the time. You also have Matip, who amazingly stayed fit for the majority of last season, but is known to get the odd niggle here and there. So look, let's just see how it goes, and we go from there. One player that has left the club, I read this morning when I woke up, I think it was made official, was Camacho. He's gone to Sporting Lisbon for somewhere in the region of, I think it was £4 million. Another bright prospect, was on the tour last year in America, played really well, kind of right back. I think he wants to be more of a winger. I don't think there's a spot there for him at the minute with that, but you never know. I think there's a buyback option on him, which is a good move from Liverpool. You'd have to wish him the best of luck. He's only a young guy. He wants to go back to Portugal. Fair enough. The players can only wait so long for a chance. I thought he might have given it another season to see what happened, but no, that wasn't to be. But look, best of luck to Camacho. What other updates have we got? Oh, Marco Grujic. Marco Grujic is going back to Hertha Berlin. He's going back for another season. I think it's the right move for the player and the club. I like Marco Grujic. I rate him. I don't think 2 years in Germany will do him any harm whatsoever in trying to get into a Liverpool squad next season. I think you may see something along the lines of Milner leaving at the end of this upcoming season, and Grujic probably the man to come in and take his place in the squad. And I think he's physically able. He just have to get used to the way we play. It's a much higher tempo than a lot of teams play. It's, you know, our midfield, if you look at it, they don't score a hell of a lot of goals, but they put a hell of a lot of work in. So Marco Grujic, no problem with him going away on loan for another season. No problem there at all. Next player we're going to move on to is Nicola Pepe. Lot of rumour around this guy. I'm just throwing a few stats up on the screen there for you with regards to last season. Goals per 90, XG per 90, different things like that. I've spoken to a couple of people on this because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend to be an absolute genius or you know, I'm not going to pretend to know everything about every player. I know very little about most players, to be honest with you. I watch Liverpool. I'm not one that watches European football a lot. But from the people I've spoken to, amongst the lads in the day trippers, outside, on Twitter, different things like that, he seems to be rated. He seems to be rated big time. Fast, powerful, an eye for goal, loves to take people on. 80 million is being muted. I think it's a bit much. I'm being honest. 80 million seems a bit much. From different things I've read, the number's probably around 50 to 60 with add-ons. I don't know. Listen, I'm sure Klopp and the backroom staff and everyone else at the club is doing a job with regards to transfers. This one seems to keep popping up. I did see the club come out during the week and say no, it's absolute lies. I'm always a bit wary when a club comes out and does that, particularly after Virgil van Dijk. You know, Virgil van Dijk was a watershed in transfers where if you overstepped the mark you were going to get badly hurt for it. Liverpool got hurt to the tune of about 25 million, I think, at the time. So look, we'll see how it goes. Nicolas Pepe, what do people think on him? Did he like him? Did he not like him? As I said, I don't know much about him, but a lot of people seem to think that he would be an excellent addition to Liverpool. I do definitely think we need somebody up top. You know, if you look at the front three, we've been very, very fortunate with injuries with them three. Firmino gets an injury towards the end of the season, misses a couple of games, and we did suffer a little bit for it. You know, Origi, outstanding finish to the season. You know, Newcastle away, he gets that goal, and of course he seals everything in Madrid. In the Champions League final, you have Brewster, who looks like he's being made promises and will need to he will need to be given opportunities, because, you know, if promises are being made to him, I think it was Mönchengladbach last season were trying to take him. Liverpool, I think, went as far as cancelling a friendly with him and made sure that Brewster signed the deal. He's been a year in rehabilitation. He's, from what I've seen, clips of him at the under 23s and for England and stuff like that, really fast, a bit of strength about him, real eye for goal, good finisher. I think under Klopp he could become a really, really top player, but he's going to be made promises. So then it's about fitting people in. You know, people have spoken about Shaqiri. I think Shaqiri's probably more a midfielder than a front three player, but we do need one more. I definitely think we need one more. The man that's being linked most is Nicolas Pepe. Look, there's all sorts of numbers going to be bandied around. Agents are going to get involved. Clubs are going to leak bit of information. You know, Lille aren't going to just stay there and go, oh yeah, we take 30 million or we take 40. They're not. They're going to put an auction on. Everyone does it now. You know, Liverpool are champions of Europe. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Everyone knows what sort of money they've made last season. So, you know, it's one of those where an auction could start, or Liverpool could just say that's what we're willing to pay. If not, that's not going to happen. We move away from it. Look, comment, do different things on Nicolas Pepe. I'm sure you all have a view on Nicolas Pepe. But the only thing I would say is in my opinion, these rumours aren't just there for the sake of them being there. We're not being rumoured of these front players simply because, you know, it's an easy thing to do. It has to be something in it where we need a player up top. And I think most Liverpool fans would agree that although the front three are amazing, Bruce has shown potential. Origi came on well at the end of last season when we thought his career was over last summer at Liverpool. He's come on, but we need somebody with, you know, that's right up the level of the likes of a Salah, Mane, Firmino. We need somebody like that. So look, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it develops over the week. As the week goes on, if anything else pops up, we'll do it on tomorrow's show or Wednesday show, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever days it is, we will do something on it. But as it stands, no, Nicolas Pepe is just another name, another rumour. But he's one that's probably been most strongest linked. The next one we'll move on to is Bruno Fernandes. Now, there's a lot going on about Bruno Fernandes. Now, one thing I want to clear up here is Bruno Fernandes. I'm just going to show you his stats here for I think it was last season. 48 matches, 32 goals, 15 assists, a hat-trick. He played over 4,000 minutes. He completes 75% of his passes. He scores every 1.5 games roughly. He likes to get a shot away. Really, really talented player. Again, he's a player I've seen a limited amount of, but again, I've gone to people and asked them who watch European football on a regular basis. Again, some of the Trippers lads watch all sorts of football, full stop. A few lads on Twitter I know watch European football a lot, and they really, really rate this guy. There's been a lot going on with this. Last week we put out a tweet with regards to Bruno Fernandes. Now, we don't usually go into the business of doing these sort of tweets, but this message we got came from a guy that's nothing to do with the Day Trippers. He's not even on social media, I don't think. He's not on Twitter anyway. He gave us info last season with regards to Keita and Alisson that turned out to be very, very plausible, very reliable. He came in with this Bruno Fernandes thing to say that Bruno Fernandes wants to move to Liverpool. He's agreed. You know, things with Liverpool are agreed. It's just a matter of doing a fee and stuff like that. That was the info we got. That was the last piece of info we got, and nothing has changed since. Would I like him? Yeah, I'm being told he's somewhere between an A and a 10, as people like to do it, A and 10. But look, the rumoured money is around 55 to 60 million. I was having a chat with a guy on Twitter that was telling me that I think his agent has 3 or 4 players at United, and he feels that he will go there because they will be throwing serious money around wages wise this summer, because they will need to, because they're not in the Champions League. As a Europa League club this season, they're going to have to pay over the odds to get players that they would usually get if they were in the Champions League. You know, the kind of way. It's a lot easier when you're in the Champions League, as we're finding out now. But Bruno Fernandes, he's another one of those midfielders / 10s. I'm looking at him, and from the info we've been told about him, it will probably lead to a slight change in formation. I don't think he plays in the front three. I don't think he plays, you know, in a midfield three. He's kind of a link man. So look, it could lead to a change in formation. Klopp going back years like the 4-2-3-1. He stuck with a 4-3-3 with Liverpool. I think that's kind of nailed down a little bit with the emergence of Fabinho last season, who was excellent. But you never know. Listen, we need a squad, and you know, people are saying things like, "Oh, can we bring him in as cover?" Look, you bring players in to be good players for Liverpool Football Club. That's all it is. You bring them in, you play them, and when you need them, you're not resorting to last-ditch squad moves near the end of the season. You have guys that are constantly on it from August to May, and it means that whenever anyone comes in, they're in good nick, they're in good shape, and you know, they're happy out then. Everyone's getting a game, everyone's being involved, everyone's contributing, and you're not seeing a drop off in levels like I would argue Daniel Sturridge was towards the end of the season. You know, he never used Moreno because he thought it was a massive drop off. Both players left the club today. But you know, you just build your squad, and look, if these lads want to be the best, and you know, I always see this thing bandied around, natural winners, born winners. If you're a born winner, you win your place in the team before you win any medal or any cup. So for me, it's a thing where, you know, if he's good enough, he comes in, and if we have to change the formation, fine. If we don't, fine. If he plays, great. If he doesn't, someone else is playing better. That's simply what it is. What else are we going to go to? Bruno Fernandes, that was the last kind of player I wanted to look at. Keita is one thing I wanted to touch on. Keita went away to the African nations after being injured for Liverpool, written off for the Champions League final a month ago. He plays. I kind of followed the game on Twitter the other day, and they were saying he was injured. He was getting battered around the pitch. It was not good. The update now seems to be that he might be returning to Liverpool to have an injury assessed. I hope he's okay. I hope he's given a couple of weeks off where he's able to just train. Not so much a rehabilitation, just train and get back himself into a groove. Liverpool will go away soon on their American tour. They'll have a couple of games in England. They'll have an American tour. I just want him to be gradually fed back in, because I thought he was showing signs last season of, he was showing signs of coming on, being effective, contributing a lot more. He had a couple of goals, the odd assist. He was starting to show little glimpses of what we thought Naby Keita was. But look, it's one of those where you hope he comes away from the African nations and everything's okay. The same with Mo Salah, the same as Sadio Mane. You have Firmino and you have Alisson away at the Copa America, and they're in the semi-finals against Argentina. The best of luck to them two. Both playing really well. Alisson just refuses to let goals in. Bobby's doing no-look goals. It's all going pretty well for them too. But look, it's one of those where you need to you get a squad back together, and you will see players coming back slightly later. They'll probably make the American tour, but they'll come back slightly later because they need a rest. They do need a rest. You have to remember World Cup year last year. You have the whole season, 97 points, a long run in the European Cup, right to the end, and winning it. Then straight away to a Copa America or an African Nations Cup, and then back, and you're probably looking at 3 weeks off, and then they're back at it again. I probably think Klopp might give them a little bit longer off and tries to juggle things at the start of the season, but we haven't been given the easiest start to the season. It's not one way you can look at a block of 4 and say, yeah, we'll make do with what we have for them 4. But look, it's all about getting players right, having them right. You don't want to rush them back in the summer and then they come back at the start of the season and they've niggles or they're out of form or they look tired and you're kind of carrying them a little bit. It has to be all done right. Sorry, one little other thing popped up as well. I've seen a couple of tentative links to Ryan Bertrand of Southampton as a left back. It's an interesting one for me. Ryan Bertrand was highly rated a couple of seasons ago. I think he was linked with a move to Man City. If I'm right, I think he was linked to a move to Man City, and it never kind of materialised. He stayed at Southampton. I think he's been in and out of favour at Southampton, mind you. You don't know what's going on there. You had Pellegrini, I can never work out, and he played for Liverpool, but I can never remember if it's an I or an O at the end of his name. You had Mark Hughes, and now you have the German lad that seems to be doing very well with them, has them working well, but he was in and out of favour there. He might be an interesting option at left back. He's 30 years of age now. It might be probably his last biggish contract to get out of his career. He might be someone that you could say to, look, Andy Robertson, he's the best left back in Europe. There's no two ways about it. But there's games there, there's FA Cup games there, there's League Cup games there. But not only that, there's league games where you can say Robbo's played 5 games in 22, 23 days. We give him a rest. We're home to pick a side. It won't be Norwich because it'll be 4th day of the season, but Sheffield United, Bertrand could come in. It's an interesting one. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye on all these things now. I don't usually, but I have to keep an eye on everything now and kind of jot them all down for you and bring them up to speed every day. I did say 20-30 minutes or so. We're on 22 minutes. I'm going to leave it there. As you can, people who are watching on screen have noticed that the messaging isn't working. I'll get that sorted for tomorrow. This will be available for a download later on, audio download. It should be it's out on Periscope as we speak. It's out on YouTube as we speak, hopefully. And we'll be back tomorrow. The club is back tonight. the club is back tonight from 8:30. What's going to be on that? There's going to be more transfer news on that. Not transfer news, but transfer talk and chat. And you know, there's 4 or 5 of us in studio tonight, so we'll be sitting down and looking at that, because all the lads have different views. We don't, believe it or not, there's a group of lads there, and you think we all agree with each other, and you couldn't be further from the truth. We agree on very little, so you get a lot of different opinions there tonight. I think Ray Dickinson is hosting tonight. Yes, he is. Yvandi Young is in. Myself will be there. I don't know how involved I'll be, but I'll be there. You'll have Garber in, who's a lover of European football, so he'll give us some insight on that. You have James O'Regan, he'll be on as well. James likes to argue a lot about transfers, so that should be good. It'll be on May 30. We won't be live. We'll be recording from 8:30. We should have it out later on tonight. We'll have little snippets as we go through the night as well, though, on Twitter and stuff like that. But no, that's been our first Fatback 4 Daily. Thanks for joining me. Sorry about the messaging. It's available for download later on. First go with this. We'll clean it up a little bit tomorrow and get the messaging working for you. The last thing I want to say again is about our sponsors, Love, Follow, Conquer. You can follow them on Twitter at Love, Follow, Conquer, without the E at the end. Someone robbed that, I think, on them, or got there before them. You can get them on Instagram at Love, Follow, Conquer, and at www.lovefollowconquer.com. And look, lovely stuff. A couple of our lads buy off them all the time. They say the quality is amazing, the design is amazing. Again, they're an independent clothing company by LFC fans, for LFC fans. You've got stuff for men, you've got stuff for women, you've got stuff for juniors. You have t-shirts, you have jackets. Listen, just go on their website, www.lovefollowconquer.com. We're delighted to have them as a sponsor for this show. The testimonials on the homepage is just, you read them and you go, yeah, absolutely. And especially since winning the European Cup, some of the designs they brought out have been pretty special. I have to say that they're probably the best around them in regards to design. But look, that's been us. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily. I have to keep remembering to say daily, but that's been us. That's been the first show. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Remember, the club is out tonight for download. And look, have a good Monday. Talk to you in a bit.